Welcome to Life of a Sacred Raver, a podcast that celebrates our love of music, our love of dance, our love of raving. You never know when someone's story will change your life. I don't wanna hide, they bite. From the white to black. So Miss Jade, hi. Welcome to the Life of a Sacred Raver podcast.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yay, I'm feeling a little nervous but honoured to be here on this comfy little velvet couch.
Teal couch. I have one at home. So it's feeling really good.
And yeah, because you have been in my radar for years. You know, I've been a party girl in the electronic music scene for most of my adult life, and you've always kind of been around.
Yeah.
You know, you've been in the doofs and how long have you been playing music?
Over 13 years. So I started I can tell you, the 7th of May 2011 was my first gig in a club. So that was when the day I decided I'm a DJ.
Yeah, so pretty much all my party days, I've seen your name pop up and been dancing to your sets.
Yeah, thanks. Yay.
And I was looking at your Instagram earlier, and you recently posted this video at my Aeon.
Yeah.
And all the front row, all the crowd was just females.
I know.
Girls.
I actually, when I looked back, I did notice that when I was playing, and then I looked back at the footage and I was like, yes. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love all of my fans, and I noticed years ago that it was very male dominant, and I was like, love that, that's great, but I do want to, influence and also have a lot of women that come watch me play and do that, and I feel like it's definitely happened, it's balanced. Yeah. So it was actually really nice just to see such a front row of young girls just
yeah.
So it was nice. Thanks for noticing.
No, I totally noticed, because I actually find when I'm at the front, often I'm surrounded by the girls, the front row ravers. They're just always good vibes when it's a front row of girls that are just here for the music.
Yeah, it definitely gives a particular energy, and I like it.
Yeah, I think you'd be such a role model for girls in the club and, the party scene, because not only the artists, the DJs that want to DJ, but also just to see such a successful artist that's a female up on stage. They must love it.
That's what I feel like over the years. I feel like that's what I wanted to be as well. Feeling like I had that role already kind of developing naturally, and I was like, all right, well, I'm going to grab it and use it as a positive influence for others. So
yeah, amazing. Yeah. And you've just gotten back from tour.
Yes, it was my first multi-gig international tour.
Congrats.
I know, thank you. It's normally when I go once a year overseas, I'm either traveling or I just play one gig. And I played 11.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's awesome. Tiring, a lot of partying. I was like, guys, I need to go to bed. But it was good. It was really good. So I played 11 shows in 4 countries over 5 weeks.
Amazing. Amazing. So what was your highlight of the tour?
It was hard because so many different places and different events for different reasons. So probably the event I really, really liked the most, not saying I didn't like any, I liked them all, but I think what was really just awesome was the festival I played at in Germany. So it's about 2 hours from Berlin, a place called Halle, and it's called Mahogany Festival, and it was awesome. It's proper doof, and they had a good balance of different kinds of psytrance, and they had a lot of techno and a lot of this ravey, hard housey music, and it was groovy and all the production, top notch. The stages, top notch, the theme and the design, everything was amazing. And it was a lot of people that, I was really blessed to connect with. For me, that was probably one of my favorite events.
Cool.
Yeah, just it was really motivating to be there. And you know me, I'm a festival girly. My favorite set that I played though, would have had to be at Mothership in Lisbon in Portugal.
Cool.
I just sent it. I just played whatever I wanted, and I played hard prog, and then even some very ravey psychedelic techno. And that for me was my favorite set. And then I just love Croatia. So I love Croatia, just the architecture. Like we played on a super yacht.
I saw that. That's wild, with the Recovery Collective.
Recovery Collective, exactly, yeah. So Jai, he sorted all that out. It was like a collaboration between this particular yacht company and the label. And so it was really nice to be a part of it as a bit of like a tour label DJ with them. Yeah, I just love Croatia. I've been there before, and it was just, you know, the marble streets and the scenes, like the water, and I can't swim, but I did like the water.
Oh, bless. Yeah. Amazing. So like, I actually have a question that one of the fans asked, and it's kind of relating to your tour, because they were curious about like, if it's different playing in international gigs and international stages versus playing in Aussie events.
It's absolutely different. 100% it's different. 2 years ago, I played a gig in Italy where I played before Vini Vici at a beach club in Italy. And I've played before them almost a million times here in Australia. And love it. Love touring with them. And I was playing with a bunch of artists from all different countries, like everyone from all different countries. And just, I don't know, the feeling, the vibe, the setup, the people, the energy, it's all high and it's all amazing, but it is definitely different. Like, I think when you know you're at home, you're at home, and it's like you've got to see people you know, and it does have a more of a level of comfort in a way. And when you're over there, that's pulled away from you. Yeah, true. But not in a negative way. It's just like, I've really got to perform my shit here. So, and you do. And then once you play, like once you're in the moment, like for me, when I'm in the moment, like that part is the same in a really blissful way. Being there and experiencing it definitely is different.
Yeah, I can imagine like though, like going to Aussie gigs and like seeing your fans that you must recognize people in the crowd.
Absolutely. I always see like particular people like repetitively in like, which is amazing, because it's like, yes, like that person was there. I saw them at my Aeon, I saw them at Esso, I saw them in a Queensland party, you know. But over there, like you don't know them, and you're almost creating fans. Yeah. Like I'm there to, in a way, prove myself as an artist and a DJ and create fans. So I'm creating them. So it does feel different, but it's almost like a healthy challenge.
Totally. Yeah. Well, I'm sure you got more SoundCloud listens over the past few months, because those sound like pretty epic gigs. Yeah,
so I'm going to be posting all of those over the next couple of weeks. I've just had like some other stuff go up on YouTube and everything like that. So all the reels and stuff I put up on Instagram. But I'm excited to share that as well. Yeah, so.
You're referring to the sound gallery?
Yeah, the sound gallery. Yeah, that was really good. So I did that set just before I went away. And so, I'm really happy that's up. I really like that set. Something different, a little bit more trancey, harder stuff. I like exploring all the genres and subgenres of trance.
Yeah, are you a trance? Like, is trance your...
Yeah, so for me, I think, I just think psytrance specifically, it gives me something... And I know a lot of other people would agree that have connected with psytrance, that it definitely gives you something more emotionally connective, not only to the music, but to yourself and to the people around you. Like just in general, just even the actual music, like the tracks within, like the stems within a track when you're creating it, it has so much more to it, so many more layers compared to like house and techno, which I still love, and I play house and techno all the time.
Yeah.
But for me, I think it definitely is my love. Like I just feel so much more connected to it in like, an emotional way. And like, I remember when I first started playing psytrance, it came with much more ease than any other genre. So really? So I just go where my energy flows for that.
Oh, amazing. Have you noticed that like it has evolved though, your music taste and style over the years?
Absolutely. So when I first started, I started with techno. And then like minimal, and back in that day like Melbourne Bounce was huge and stuff like that, so I played that. And then I wanted to get away from that and I wanted to play bigger shows. I knew like this is what I wanted to do with my life, like not short term, long term. And so I moved into like electro, progressive house, and then I was like, I don't think that's really me. And then I kind of pulled it back and was like, okay, what did I start with? Like underground techno. And so I went a little bit more minimal. And then it's back when I was playing at Rover Milk Bar.
Okay. Yeah. I don't even know where that is.
Oh, okay. So it's not there anymore.
Okay.
If you go to Burke Street in the city, there's a bar called Angel Music Bar. So that used to be the old Rover Milk Bar. And that was like, in its heyday, it's a very small club, 2-story, and it was very like underground, sweaty, like dark techno, minimal. Cool. Yeah, it was cool. It was really cool. If you know, you know. And it was actually one of the clubs I first went to when I was 18, 19, probably 17, 18, 19. And I was just going there just to party and like listen to this amazing music I'd never heard before. So then 5 years later, playing there as a resident was like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm playing at the club I used to like froth, every week when I was young. And then those DJs took me to my first doof in 2013. 2013's New Year's. It was a New Year's underground illegal doof rave. And that was the first time I ever heard psytrance. And I was like, what is this music? And for me, that was it. I had to play it. So I went home that next week and I just downloaded heaps of psytrance. It was very progressive. It was very bouncy, very bouncy prog, very like major 7 early days. And it just flowed so much better when I was mixing. Like I was mixing the music so different to what I had taught myself how to do, and it was just happening so organically and it just felt good. So yeah, that's what kind of got me to there. And then from there I've just like evolved that genre within myself through like, I guess, just exploring over the years new artists, new sounds and new trends, and then just going with like what feels good. So like a lot of people that come watch me play will know that I always end with very, very like trance, like do, 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 very like patty, like ethereal. And so when I'm really going for it, you'll hear that. And I don't know where that comes from. It just sounds good, feels good. Yeah. So I think it's just that emotional connecting kind of part of the track. So yeah, that's how I've evolved, I guess. And I like still like add in a lot of like, I love playing techno, so I still like to add in like very like ravey, psychedelic kind of versions of that. And a lot of vocals. Yeah,
I loved your vocals at ESO. I was there last year and I would just remember, you always have quite a few vocals, but it makes my heart feel like they were so emotional, emotional in a good way, and it made my heart want to burst. I just remember thinking my heart was really open, like it felt so loving.
Thank you, because that's how I feel.
Yeah, I felt it.
Thank you. Okay, well, great, it worked. Because that's what I like to do when I play is have some, like I don't just play music because it's pop, like that track's popular or that person likes that track. So I'll play it. I play it because I like it and I feel like I can utilize that, my connection to that particular track and the emotion it brings out of me, and I can deliver that to my audience. So yeah, thanks, because that means that I did my job, in a way that like I like to do. So the vocal part, like some people are like, oh, it's a bit cheesy. And I'm like, well, it is and it isn't. Like, are people connecting to it? I'm not playing like a vocal that's off commercial radio. I'm playing things that mean something to me. Like I listen to the words, or even just sometimes if you can't make out the words and it just gives you, like it kind of like, I guess in a way triggers a particular emotion because of that sound or like that frequency or like where you're at in your journey. It's for me, I like to put them in there because it does bring that out in me and I want to share that with the audience. So
yeah, I love that. And like, different words have different resonance to it. Like, so I guess like there's just some frequency that comes out when there's someone singing or speaking these words. It puts an energy into the track that we do feel like it is a thing. That is why we all love music so much.
Yeah. And I just think that it's like a language, like that you can connect with people. So for me, like if there's a beautiful voice in there that can just lift that moment, absolutely I'll share that.
Yeah. So what does music mean to you?
What does it mean to me? So that's a great question. What does it mean to me? Well, for number one, music is my priority in life. So being a DJ and connecting and playing and producing music means the world to me. I couldn't live my life without it. Like, I definitely feel that once I developed this love and this kinship with it in this way, as an artist, as a DJ, I never was going to let it go. So I'll be playing like Raja Ram, like he's like what in his 80s, he's like 80.
Yeah.
That'll be me. For me, one thing I can definitely describe is I've never felt more contentment and peace after I play a huge festival set. I've never felt it in any other point in my life doing anything else than that. Like my mind, like I've got a pretty busy mind. And for me, I always kind of almost tear up when I talk about it because like I'm visualizing now, like for example, when I played my first festival set after our lockdowns and COVID, I came off the stage at Elements and just like I burst into such beautiful, happy tears and joy. It meant that I released all of this energy, like whatever was trapping me, holding me back, and I freed everything from my body and my mind that was maybe pulling me down or I was holding in, and it just complete peace, complete like almost like blank canvas in just a beautiful, peaceful way. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Bliss, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for me, it gives me, I don't know if you would use the word enlightenment, but definitely it frees me. So for me, it's like my own healing. And that the fact that I can share that is just so special. So for me, it's, I guess it means like healing and growth and connection and love and knowing this is what I'm supposed to do.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
I'm so grateful for music.
Yeah, I know.
Brings so much beauty to the world.
Yeah, like I know when I was younger, like for me, I was always had a connection to it and I didn't know why. I just thought everyone danced and sang and did things with like music when they were young, but like I grew up realizing that not everyone does. Yeah. And I always wanted to be a singer. I don't have a great singing voice. It's okay. And I've done singing lessons, but it's not probably my my chosen career path.
Fortunately, you're already on a...
Yeah, I'm already on a good path. And like I danced when I was young, and so whenever I had the chance, I grew up in a lot of like pubs and things like that. So I would just go get up on the stage to whatever was playing. Like if it was Meatloaf like playing, I would just get up on the stage. I'm like 6 and I was just singing and dancing. Like, I don't know, I did that. And like I had my parents, like so for birthdays and Christmases, if someone in my family asked me what I wanted, it always was something to do with music. Like I asked for like a CD player so I could, I used to get like cassette tapes and pop them in there and record. I used to make my own mixtapes. I didn't realize I was doing, it was so weird. I thought when I was describing this a few years back, I realized I'm like, oh my God, I made mixtapes when I was like.
DJing. Yeah. You were how young?
I think I was like 8 then. I didn't know. I didn't realise. So I would have the radio on and I'd sit there all day and I'd press record on a song I liked and then I'd pause it and just sit there and wait till the next song that I liked came on the radio and I'd record it and then I would have it all on cassette.
That is really special. Yeah, really cute.
I would always ask or receive something music related for like, you know, like even if it was Britney Spears or, I remember getting like, that was like my first CD I ever got, or like, you know, I love rock, so like it was like an album. One year I asked for Elvis's greatest hits. Everyone's like, aren't you like 9? And I'm like, yeah, I love Elvis. Yeah, so I don't know. I never really realised that I did those things when I was young until it came up like a couple of years later that I spoke about it to somebody and I was like, oh, I guess it was there all along.
Yeah, totally. But when did you actually like find, so you found DJing, your first gig was 2011. Yeah. So how did you like first get into it?
So it's a very cliche story. I was going through a breakup, you know, you're young, like first love, 20s, early 20s. And it was like my world was ending, you know. I was like realising that I'm not ever going to be with that person. I really love them. And then like, you know, I look back now and I'm like, well, that was never going to work out. I just had a friend at the time who was teaching himself how to DJ, and he was being really supportive of where I was at emotionally.
Yeah.
I was quite down, and he said, "Oh, just come spend time at my house every day, and support me, make me feel better." He was teaching himself how to DJ at the time, and I just got up and started pressing some buttons, and he's like, "Are you mixing tracks?" I'm like, "I don't know, am I?"
You tell me.
Yeah, I'm like, "Am I?" He's like, "Yeah, do it again." I'm like, "Okay." He's like, "That took me a month to learn," and I was like, "I don't know what I'm doing." He's like, "Every time you come here, you're going to play with me." And then because I was doing that with him and I was active and learning something, and that's where it started, me emptying my mind and not, overthinking or being inside my head or, troubled with my thoughts. It was like clean slate. I was doing something and it just felt really good. So I just kept playing. Yeah, I bought all my own decks and just playing at home, practicing every day. And then, I used to go to this club every week called Poison Apple at La Di Da in the city. And I was friends with the people that run it. And I told them that I'd just been playing around at home. And they're like, "You're coming to the club and you're playing on Saturday night." I'm like, "No, I'm not." I'm like, "I'm not doing that. I don't want to play in front of people. I'm just telling you that that's what I was doing." They're like, "You're coming and playing at the club on Saturday." And then they kind of gave me a red hot push, like really pushed me into it, being like, "No, you should do this." I was like, "Okay," and I did it. So, yeah.
Here we are.
Yeah, I know.
Your first big international tour.
Yeah.
Awesome. So it sounds like you were saying that you were struggling with some troubled thoughts and music was helping you soothe and find peace and things like that. Was that something going on in your life? Did you find it hard overthinking, and was it mental health a thing?
Absolutely. I didn't understand mental health and things like that when I was young and developing. I had pretty shitty childhood. So for me, I struggled, knowing what I know now, I struggled with anxiety, depression. I was undiagnosed for ADHD, but I was aware that there was problems going on, but I didn't know how to fix it. So overthinking and being really trapped in my thoughts and my experiences from when I was young, it was definitely overcome my mind and took over a lot. So being able to do that, and it kind of took that all away organically, just really cleared my mind and freed it, which I still experience now to this day when I play. It's the best form of, I guess, my form of meditation that I've ever really had.
So self-improvement and healing and growing seems like it's important to you.
So important. I've worked really, really hard for the last, I would say, probably 10 plus years on my own personal development and my growth and my emotional healing. I needed it. For me, I went through a lot of trauma, and not that I hated the world, but I did feel very hard done by, and I didn't understand why or what had happened to me when I was young, and how much that really affected me. And when I realized, I'm like, shit, something's got to change, because I keep attracting these awful people and awful experiences in my life, and I don't feel like an awful person. So I was like, okay, maybe it's really time to actually delve into what happened. And I saw psychologists, got diagnosis. I've read countless books. I love reading. Countless books on growth, development, just psychological understanding and trauma and how to, I guess, deal with that. Obviously, you're always learning and growing, and I just really make it a priority for my life. I need to. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to leave the house or succeed in my endeavours.
How do you think all of this personal development and self-improvement has gotten you to where you are today?
I think it's played a huge part, because I don't think that I would have the ability to have such positive relationships and, useful and loving relationships with people and with my experiences and with music if I didn't do that. I think I would probably be really, really stuck and really, really traumatized person if I didn't do that. For me, I really think that it has helped me. It definitely helped me integrate better with women, for sure. I basically am able to have really positive, really accepting and loving and even playful relationships with lots of different women now in my life, which when I was young, I didn't know how to do. And yeah, I guess, like I said, I probably was attracting a lot of more of negative people of all walks of life, where now I can have that, and then I can, I guess I can then integrate that in, like, I don't know, romantic situations, friendships, my like workplaces, and I guess that also will come through my music. And I guess that's also why, you know, there's more girls as fans for me now too. So I think it's all a cycle. It's all reciprocal energy. So the more I work on me and me and my life and my mental health and my traumas and all of that, then I feel like I can process that through my music, and then people can connect better with me.
Yeah. Oh, that's a very beautiful way of putting it. And I completely agree. Yeah. It's like the energy you put out is more loving, and then you receive it back into the world, which is one of actually the benefits, I think, of doing the work and self-improvement and healing, that, you know, is that you end up just getting like so many more abundant opportunities.
Absolutely.
Happen to you.
Yeah. Like I feel like you can dream bigger, and that's what I feel like. If you just dream it and you like, and just really give yourself permission to send out your energy and be authentic and be who you are, then those, like, I guess, good experiences or good people will just come to you.
Yeah. Could you imagine, like, if you look back on your like childhood, and I mean, I'm sure people may be shocked to see that to know that you had like a traumatic childhood, and because you're so confident and just talented and following this amazing path, could you imagine that this would be your life when you were younger?
Absolutely not. No, wouldn't have thought it. And I probably, look, I don't know what people think of me, the way I have become the person I am. I'm not sure what people's perceptions of that are, but I know, like, little Jade would not in a million years have known that this was going to be, or dreamt that this was going to be my life. Like, for me, so basically my mum mainly, but also my dad, were big drug addicts, and I was left alone a lot as a child, and I was physically, mentally and emotionally abused for pretty much my whole life. So I was severely neglected. I didn't even have food to take to school. I would take myself to school. From the age of 4 years old, I had to teach myself how to cook. That's all I knew. That's the only life I knew. I would come home to someone that would, you know, use me as their punching bag, and they were supposed to love me. And yeah, so that's all I knew. And it's funny, I have like this memory of me standing in the mirror when I was like 4, and just looking at myself and just repeating, like, I'm not going to be like them, and I'm a princess.
Yes, you are.
I'm a princess, and, you know, I'm amazing. And I was just saying these things to myself, which is, I look back and I have no idea where I learned that from. Considering play school taught me how to cook my food, which all we had in the house was, you know, flour that rats had been in, or like some potatoes that were growing, like, you know, like the sprouts, yeah, things like that. And I would just, find whatever I could do to make something for myself. And like, that's the life I had, and I didn't know any different. But and like I said, I didn't have any positive role models. I was the oldest of 3 sisters. And so as my life developed, and I had to protect them from the abuse and just let it only really happen to me. And yeah, like, so growing up like that, you don't see anything else. I didn't know any other life. Like, I had a couple of friends when I was young, and I saw their parents, and I was like, oh, as I grew up, I'm like, oh, that's what it's supposed to be like. So I was a teenager at this point, and I'm like, oh, that's a mum and that's a dad. So I just tried to stay there as much as I could, you know, and I didn't know how to form healthy friendships or relationships. And yeah, so what I'm doing now and who I am now, it's pretty wild. Like, I just decided, like, don't get me wrong, I made a shit ton of mistakes because I didn't know. I didn't know, like, I was drinking or taking drugs or, you know, and as much as I didn't want to be like them, I went through this very, very angry time in my teens that, yeah, like, I guess was just the only outlet I had, and really just trying to find my way. And like I said, I didn't understand what was happening to me. I couldn't talk to anybody about it. I tried a few times. I remember I was in high school and this guy had come to teach our gym class, like, self-defense. Okay. And I was like, yes, this is going to be so good for me. And he was like giving us all like lessons and stuff and tips. And at the end of the class, I went up to him and I said, oh, hi, just got a couple of questions. He's like, yeah, sure. And I said, I was 15. I said, look, if your abuser is a pregnant woman, how do I navigate that without hurting the baby? And he's like, pregnant woman wouldn't do that to you. I was just like, totally get that that's what you would think and see, and that's fine. But can we maybe just do a hypothetical? And he's like, it wouldn't happen. I was like, please, if you could just a hypothetical situation, if that was happening, I'd really appreciate your tips. He goes, it wouldn't happen. It's an unrealistic situation. I was like, okay, thanks for your time.
It's not what a 15-year-old struggling needs. There should have been some alarm bells going off in his head or something.
Yeah.
So I'm so sorry that has happened to you.
Yeah. So, and like I was very manipulated as a child by my parents about like sharing what had gone on or what was happening. My dad like basically completely neglected us and just up and left. And his idea of, I guess, what happened is completely different to my reality. And yeah, so I just never felt heard or believed. I think that's also probably a reason why I'm so outspoken. Like I never felt heard. I was, definitely scared. I was very, very frightened all of the time. Probably like 16 and I decided to fight back. Like I said, my mum, she had a big drug problem. She's actually really great now, which is funny because I thought my whole life I would never ever have a mum. When I was 16, I actually decided to like fight back. Pretty intense and pretty violent what happened between her and I, because I actually reciprocated violence like for the first time in my whole life. And it was very, very intense. Yeah. But it did put a major stop to some of the abuse that was happening, which was good for me and good for my sisters. So then I guess they could, I basically fronted a lot of that burden, and then it wasn't going to happen to them as much. But then I became into a, young adult, and I had to get out. I had to like find who I was and develop who I was and make all mistakes and grow. And it took me a really long time, probably till I was about 25, to really think, okay, shit, I've got to make some kind of change. So I was already DJing and everything at this time. I realized I'm like, shit, this has all happened, and this has been affecting me more than I probably had previously realized. And I had to do something about it.
Fuck, babe. That sounds like it would have been really fucking hard.
Yeah.
I'm really sorry that happened.
Thanks. Yeah, no, it's not something that I share, not because I'm not like, in a way, I don't think I'm a victim. That's, and I'm not in a way burdened by it anymore. I feel like I have done a lot of self-development, and like I said, my mum now is like, so for 30 of my years, I didn't have a relationship with her. I've never even called her mum. So I call her by her first name, and the same with my dad. I've never called them mum and dad after the age of 4 when I really realized like there's something wrong here. But she now got her life together, which is amazing. So she's completely clean and we have a friendship now, which is something that, something that I never, ever in my whole entire life ever thought would have happened. So she came to me and asked for my help. And I was like, okay. I'm like, I'm only going to help you if you really actually mean it, because you can't make anybody do anything when they're in those states. Yes. And people don't change unless they want to, or they don't improve their life or make good choices unless they want to.
This is true.
Right? She wanted to and she did it.
And I bet you doing the work, again, this energy thing, I think with you healing yourself and the wounds that you had, like your emotional wounds from your mum, I really do believe that helped her get to a place where she was able to ask for help and start to do her own work.
I think you're right, definitely. And I think that because unfortunately, like, you know how a lot of people talk about generational trauma? I really think for our family line, it's a huge thing. She went through very similar thing growing up, different circumstances, but same kind of story. And then so did my nan as well. Yeah. So I felt like I was putting a stop to it. I'm not having it. I don't know why me in this family, but it was me, and I'm putting a stop to it. And I think you're right, like me then being like, no, I'm a princess, I'm amazing. I made bad decisions, but I want to be this particular person, and growing up and working out how do I be this amazing person? How do I do this? How do I be a good person? How do I make the right choices? And growing and developing, hopefully I'm healing generational trauma.
Yeah, I think you are, babe.
Yeah, and maybe helping me helped her.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
If there was something you could recommend or any advice to give to someone that wants to start their journey of healing and maybe is scared of facing that journey, because it is scary and hard at times.
Yeah.
Do you have any advice?
Yeah. Basically, when I was young and going through all of that, I thought I was the only person in the whole world that this was happening to. I had no understanding, naivety and how scared I was and how alone I felt. If I could give any advice, it is to believe 100% that you are not the only one, and that there are other people that this has happened to, and it's not diminishing at all what is happening and how it's making you feel. It's more a solidarity moment to understand there are other people that can understand me. I didn't have that. I didn't know.
Yeah.
It took me a really, really long time. The only way I knew is I read a book about it.
What book?
I read, it's called A Boy Called It.
Okay.
Where he was severely abused by his parents and was nameless, didn't have an identity. The mum would never even call him by his real name. Just treated him like a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, And I read that book, and that was the first moment I ever didn't feel alone. And I was in high school. So my advice is believe, even if you haven't seen it or haven't felt it, you aren't alone, and there are people out there that have been through it or are going through it, and they can be there for you and your support. The other thing I didn't do, because I didn't know, was talk about it to people, was let people in my life know that that's what was going on, and understand that they could help. I didn't know people could help me. There was a point in my life where I thought all of this abuse and all these drugs around me, and this environment I was placed in, I basically grew up under a pool table because they would just go to pubs, and there was no one else for kids. I was the only one there. I would just be tagging along, basically, just alone, that. I didn't have anyone to talk to and say that this is what's happening, and I wasn't told that I could do that. So I want to say to other people, talk, be vocal about what's going on. And
Yeah.
not always will it be, you don't know if it's going to be the right person that you're saying it to, but believe that there are people out there. Just have that belief. There are people out there that will understand you and that will listen. And there is always a choice for you to overcome, you know, your adversities and heal. And just having that belief, even if it means just someone saying, just believe it. If you're like, oh, how do I believe it? It's a conscious choice.
Yes.
And just knowing that you can have that support and you can make that situation and your life better just by believing in that fact and also communicating it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really like that because community is so important on the healing journey.
Yeah.
And to know that you're not going through it alone, no matter what it is, like whether if someone trying to, improve their relationship with substances or whatever the journey is, knowing that you're not alone and feeling and talking about it is huge.
Absolutely. Like, I mean, for me, one thing that I haven't spoken about, and I'm happy to share it, is that like I would self-harm a lot when I was going through all this from a young age, you know, and because I just wanted it to stop. It's like I wanted the pain to stop, and if I inflicted it on myself, then it didn't feel like it hurt as much. I don't know, it's a hard thing to explain. But, you know, and I would hate to see or have anyone feel that that's what they need to do. So I wouldn't want them to not believe or hear or be heard to a point that they feel like they need to do that. Yeah. I could never imagine me doing that now. Like, yeah, it's pretty dark.
Well, I mean, you were doing what you thought was best for you at the time to soothe the pain, and we can only do what we know at the time from what we've learned around us, and that was your choice then. But look at all the work you've done on yourself.
Yeah.
Like, you're incredibly resilient.
Yeah.
Strong, powerful woman.
I definitely would say resilience is right at the top of my qualities.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And we were just talking about like dreams.
Yeah.
Kind of mentioned a little bit about, you know, like going for your dreams, and like you spoke about like your dreams for the 10 years.
Yeah.
Now you're this, you know, you've got all these amazing visions.
Yeah.
Can you share what do you dream
Yeah,
of?
yes, perfect. So for me, I've gotten to a point where I really love who I am now. And then I love the life I've created for myself. And it's not something that I ever even thought of like 5-10 years ago, that this is where my mindset and my life would be. So now, like, I'm just propelling those dreams and being delusional about it in a way that's like, you know, I'm going to be this big superstar that can share and travel and experience, and it's all music based, and I'm going to play at this festival in the world, and I'm going to go to this country, and I'm going to have this amazing house, and I'm going to do all these beautiful things and connect with so many amazing people. And I'm just like, is it happening right now? On some degree, yes. Do I want it to be bigger and better and look back and never have one regret in my life? Absolutely. So I'm just believing it is now, and being like a healthy amount of delusional that it is right now, and really just propelling my life that I want, which I'm going to just manifest that I have and that I am, and just fucking go for it.
Fuck yeah. That's what manifestation, they say, is about really like feeling.
Yeah, feeling it.
And like feeling like you're got the worth for it. Like, I'm worthy of that fucking dream.
Self-worth is like a huge thing. And like, I didn't have any, like when I was young, I had none. And like, I think that would probably surprise a lot of people that see me, because I am confident, I am outspoken, I am supportive, and I am supported. And I feel in my life and within myself super worthy of all of this, where I didn't back then, you know. I had to grow, I had to develop that. It's not, you don't just get it. You have to work on it, especially if you've had something or someone that tried to take it away from you, or not allow you to develop it, you know, naturally. So yeah, believing I am the person I am and want to be, and loving that for me. And yeah, like, I'm just going to be this amazing traveling superstar, person that, you know, is like, I'm going to be a great DJ. I am a great DJ. I want to, like, same with music production. I'm going to do all these things. And I've got my radio show. I want to write my own book. My book is going to be on particular events that have happened in my life. Like I'm starting this like collective for women in the industry. Yep. You know, just all of these things. Like I have like this in my mind and I want to do that. And so I'm just going to do it. Like the only person that holds you back in your life is you. And I've done that enough. Like, you know, through your peaks and troughs in your life and what you've gone through being in your own head, you can self-sabotage a lot. Like, especially like being a woman and, you know, in different industries, especially music industry, you can feel sometimes quite oppressed, you know, within your dreams, like you've got a limit to it. Like, and I don't ever want to feel like that again. And I don't want anyone I work with or work alongside to feel like that. So yeah, I'm just going to dream big. Like it's endless. Like what limit? There is none. The limit does not exist.
No, and I like to say like dream this or better. Like dream, or if that doesn't happen, it's because there's something even better out there for me.
Yeah. If like you took a particular path and it didn't work out, it's because it wasn't supposed to, and it's just it's just diverting you back to where you're not supposed to go. Like I feel like if it's meant to be happening for you, you'll feel pulled to it and it will have a lot more ease towards it. Like you won't feel like you're pushing shit uphill. Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah,
it will flow more.
Yeah, it will flow more, but it's not necessarily mean that it's always going to be easy. But I also want to believe that I want to be Delulu and be like, it is easy and I'm just going to do it. Do you know what I mean? Yeah,
and I just kind of thought of something then, like, you know, if you've got a dream and you're sitting on it kind of, and maybe it's not happening, like, or there's something blocking you to achieve it, I guess it's actually looking at like the self-worth and doing a bit of the personal growth. Maybe that's where people need to put their energy first. So then they have that confidence and self-worth to be like, I'm actually going to take this leap of faith for my dream. Because it feels like it's a bit connected there.
I agree. I feel like if you feel like you're hitting like a wall or a point in your life where you feel like you want to be here, but you're getting that bit of stuck energy.
Yeah.
I would definitely say journey inwards then. Journey inwards, like find out what that block is. And even if you don't know or you don't find it, whatever like healing you can do or self-development, whether it's read a book or sit and really ask yourself questions and get to the bottom of stuff, or you know, work with someone like a psychologist, or like I've done a lot of kinesiology as well, and that kind of holistic healing too, with energy healers and things like that. Like even if it's something like that, like just anything is going to, like, I feel like unlock another level of your ability.
Yeah. I resonate so totally. So I have some fans that had some questions.
Yeah.
Just like get them out. Now I think like some of these are from like an artist DJ perspective. Okay. So one person asked, what advice would you give young women that are starting to be a DJ?
Yep. Advice, I would say reach out to the people that inspire you. Don't just watch, like get to know them. Yeah. Because like, especially in the psytrance scene, I feel like you can reach out to almost any artist in the world and they're most likely going to reply to you. Yeah, I feel that. And it doesn't matter what genre or what part of the industry you're working towards, reach out to those people. And if you don't get a response, that's okay. No harm, no foul kind of thing, you know. You didn't lose anything, but you could gain something. You could gain a connection. You could gain a mentor. You could gain some advice, or even just answer some questions that you may have, or it could settle your nerves, give you, a bit of an inspiration in that way. I would say reach out for one. And also don't believe everything you hear in the industry in a way that when people are like, oh, you can only do this, or anything that's limiting. Yeah.
We don't want that.
No, like, oh no, don't go play there, or don't play with that person, because you don't know sometimes where that's come from them. So take everything with a grain of salt, unless it's like obviously something that's a positive influence that is, you can tell is like a support. I would say, yeah, take everything with a grain of salt, and don't let your efforts be diminished by a no if you can't play somewhere, or they don't want to work with you, or just be like, cool, and just keep going. Because, you know, that old saying is like, you know, you get 100 no's and then you get that one yes or whatever.
Yeah.
Probably not saying it right, but you just go for it.
Yeah.
Always, because if you don't, then you're only going to be exactly where you are.
Yeah.
So reach out to the people that inspire you, or maybe the ones that you're like, I want to play that gig, or I want to do that, and how do I get there? Ask them, and learn from everybody, and follow your own direction, and explore. Also know that you do not have to be that same person, that same artist today, and then the same in a year's time.
Yeah.
And be open to that, because you can then have a plethora of experiences and, you know, gigs or connections open to you, where if you stay like, no, this is what I'm going to do and this is where I'm going to play, well, that might not be all you get to do.
Yeah.
It depends where you want to take it.
I like that one because, you know, just taking the first step, you don't need to be perfect yet. You don't need to have it all figured out, but you got to just like start the actions and moving things forward.
Yeah.
And you can always change your style, and like, you know, you've recently created a whole new alias.
Yes, I have. Yeah. So Wonderkind.
What inspired you to create that?
So in 2020, when we were, obviously there's no music.
Yeah.
Well, there's music, but there was no gigs. There was no music industry to a point. It was all lockdown. I knew just from my experience and trends and you know, when the music industry gets hit hard in certain areas, what is going to excel and what probably is going to be held back for a little bit. I could see that psytrance and doves, they were going to be hit hard. Yeah, and also I wasn't going to get to play my psy, but I knew that I can't live without doing what makes me happy. And, you know, DJing is like the air I breathe. So I was like, I want to still be able to play, but I still want to be authentic to me. So I was like, okay, how do I bring out a side of me that is still me, obviously, but like a part of me, and share that with everybody. That is a little bit different to what I've been doing, but I'm still going to keep doing Miss Jade. And Wonderkind, so Keith from The Prodigy passed away. Oh. And that kind of, I didn't realise how influenced I was by them until that happened. And so it's like, I'm going to start a new project. And then he passed away. And then so that breakup of that, you know, very, you know, inspiring music model in the industry, like broke down because someone passed away. And then that plus what was going on in the industry and COVID and all of that, and then me wanting to share a part of me, I wanted to share Little Jade. So Wonderkind it's a German word. Germany, like the German word itself has nothing to do with me. I just liked it. But what I did was I started researching words that were aligned with Prodigy, and that also would resonate with me, and then also the trends that I could see that would lift, that I could align myself with in the music industry, which was disco house. Oh. Yeah. Fun, bubbly, nostalgic. Yeah. And so putting all of these ideas and things together, and I found that word Wonderkind, and it means child prodigy. Yeah, and so for me, I was like, I get to, now I can bring out my very playful, very like innocent side of me, and play some really vocally like fun, like low, how do I say, low maintenance kind of music in a way that I don't have to gear up and like give everything my all every time,
Okay, yeah.
you know, in a way that I could come and just enjoy it. And then I could hop off the decks or hop off the stage, and I just, you know, it's nice. It's like, yeah, I did it and it felt really good. And I, because at that point I was quite depressed. I was quite depressed because I wasn't able to play psytrance. So I was like, how can I make this work for me and work for everyone else? So I kind of put all those ideas together. The trend I saw for disco coming out, and which it did. Yeah. Disco come out and was going to be quite like, you know, universally well received. That inspiration I got from other artists, where I was at and what I, you know, my own healing, what I wanted to bring out, which was in itself, like creating Wonderkind was quite healing for me.
Yeah, it sounds like, because it was connected to like, you know, little Jade.
Yeah, little Jade, you know, that didn't get to see like and be a kid, you know.
Didn't get to play.
I didn't get to play. Didn't get to just play as a young little girl. Like everything was so, I had to grow up really, really fast. Yeah. So I play all this fun music that's quite nostalgic, you know, stuff that I got to listen to, because even though, like I said, like my family dynamic was quite, to put it nicely, not great. Music was always around. Like my parents played a lot of like rock and soul and all the time. It was beautiful. So I got to hear and be exposed to a lot of great music as a child. So I already knew all of this music, and my sister was like, oh, and she would play me some disco, you know, like a few years back and before COVID. I'm like, God, that sounds so good. And so I just put all that together and created Wonderkind. So now I like dress in really like I put colourful wigs on.
Yeah, you got I've seen you play with the wigs.
Yeah.
Cute.
Yeah, I put these colourful fun wigs on, and just, I don't really wear any makeup really that much.
Love that.
Yeah, and I just put on some like real casual, colourful clothes. Like, I mean, I like to be colourful and stuff, but I always like dress up, where I actually dress in a way down for me. It's probably still dressed up for everyone else. But I get to, bring out that side of me, I guess. So, yeah, that's Wonderkind. And it's been really well received. I'm really, really happy. Like, yeah, I've made some really great friends in the industry. I've made some cool fans too, which I was like, people are like, hey, Wonderkind. I'm like, oh.
Hi.
I was like, oh my God, hi. And same faces start coming. And then some of them discovered that I'm Miss Jade. And so then that started crossing over in a really healthy way, because I didn't really want people to know that I was the same person in the beginning, so I could develop the brand. Yeah. Yeah. So, and now I don't mind, because it's, you know, it's working. But yeah, that's how it happened. That's how it started. And, I love it. It's great. It's, it's fun. And I just get to play real fun music now, and I can, explore more genres with it too. Not that I ever feel locked in to just psytrance with Miss Jade, but I know that that's my focus, and then I can branch off a little bit here and there and whatever. But with Wonderkind, I'll play anything.
That must feel nice.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. I'll play anything.
Oh, nice. Well, I mean, maybe to wrap up, it would be amazing to hear like a piece of wisdom that you maybe could share that has gotten you to where you are today.
Okay. Bit of wisdom. Or
that you've learned, not necessarily that you've learned, like a lesson you've learned or something. Anything.
A lesson I've learned. Okay. I would say authenticity is the key, and really working on knowing who you are and sharing it with the world. Let your light shine on everyone and everything. Like, just do it. Like, don't hold it back, because I felt like I dimmed my light for a lot of people growing up, and even well into my 20s. And I won't do that anymore. Like, no way. Because that is what makes me me, and that is what keeps people coming back to watch my shows, watch me play. It's my light, my energy. So just don't dim it for anyone, and you'll just see what happens. Like, yeah, that's probably
No, it's beautiful. I completely agree. Authenticity is very important.
Yeah.
So, oh, thank you so much for joining the
thanks.
podcast. I'm sure the listeners will be very touched and moved by your story and all your wisdom that you shared throughout the whole episode.
Oh, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
And I hope, it inspires other people. And it's also nice just to share a little bit more personal of myself, like, in our conversation, because it might resonate with someone. It might show a side of me or life or development for somebody in the music scene or just in general, that they could take it away and know that they can do amazing things too, I guess. Yeah.
They sure can. And you will be inspiring people to do that.
Oh, good. I hope so.
Yeah.
Just go get it.
Go get it.
Yeah.
Oh, amazing. Give me a hug.
Yeah, thanks for plugging out.